Yay!
Hey! Well, hello. I'm Jaimee.
And I'm Zia.
This is the Picture This Show, where we explore the possibilities in wearing your imagination, try to learn some new things, and that's about it. We have fun. We try to bring some smiles too. Quick note as we get started today, I do not know if we have ability to see comments today. So if you have typed in a comment, we're not seeing it. If you haven't typed in a comment because there's nobody there, that's okay. If and when we see a comment, we will respond. If for any reason we don't respond to comments today, it's because we can't see them. Technology fail. All right, so moving on. Zia, can you tell me something good?
Maybe.
Maybe? What is it? What?
What is it?
What is it?
Well, yesterday, I got a new thing to try.
You tried something new yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to say it much louder than that because I don't think anyone can hear you.
Possibly.
All right, what did you try that was new yesterday?
I may have gotten a Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
A Baja Blast from Taco Bell. How was it?
It was good.
Was it like super good or like on a scale of Dr. Pepper being great?
It's not as good.
It's not as good as a Dr. Pepper. We're Dr. Pepper fans. I don't drink as much soda as I used to, but
Dr. Pepper is like the legendary.
it's the epitome of, it's a 10 for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper, it's a 10. And what's a 0? Water? I mean, water's great for you, but flavor-wise, we're going for flavor, right? That was a bad. Okay, so I've got my morning coffee. What are you drinking this morning?
I would say one would have to be like
Milk? No, milk's good. I don't know. A beverage you don't like?
yeah.
Like,
Which I will get comments about this one probably, but like 7-Up.
oh, 7-Up. You don't like 7-Up. Okay, that's fair. Everybody has different taste buds, right? We all have different taste buds. And that's okay. We love you no matter what your taste buds are.
7-Up or Sprite. Because they're like exactly the same.
You don't like the lemon lime drinks. That's fair. Sierra Mist. There's a whole like realm of them. I'm going to venture to say we're not seeing comments today. So like I think our little comment stream is broken and I apologize for that. We're going to go ahead and move forward.
Imagine
anyway.
halfway through we see that we had like 100 comments throughout the live stream.
That would be amazing. It would be amazing. But, you know, it happens sometimes. But we do have some cool stuff to talk about today. So, you know, last week we learned on Thursday. On Thursday, we try to always learn something new. And last week we learned about Alma Thomas and her super cool artistic style. We tried creating some things in the style of Alma Thomas, which we're going to show you how those turned out, how Zia's super cool painting turned out after the live stream, or, you know, toward the end, not after, because then you won't see anything. But anyway, we're gonna look at how Zia's turned out because hers turned out super cool. But today we want to learn about somebody named Gerald Lawson, but Gerry Lawson. So let's take a look at Gerald Lawson. This is a picture of Gerald Lawson from the 70s. Do you know anything about Gerald Lawson?
No.
We're going to learn something. So I've done a fair amount of research, and whether you're new to me or us or whatever.
Well, I know a tiny bit because of the setup. But...
Okay, well, give me just a second and you're going to learn even more. But like I have a bit of a tech background. We love games, right? Gerald Lawson was an engineer, and I found in my research a great video that I actually want to share with you all. So it's a 2-minute video. Let's watch it together, okay? And see if we can learn some cool stuff about Gerald Lawson, because I felt like this video explained it a lot better than I might explain it, and I will leave a link to this video in our comments. All right, crank up our volume.
Systems used to only have one game. Like if you bought Pong, you could just play Pong. If you wanted to play another game, you had to buy a whole other system. First, we started with game cartridges, and then games were on CD-ROMs and Blu-rays. Nowadays, a lot of gamers can just download games. But the success of GameStop is completely dependent on the need for the games to be separate from the system. So, who invented that technology? Who invented the first video game cartridge? Gerald "Jerry" Lawson started his self-taught journey as a kid in Queens, New York. He broadcasted his own radio station out of his bedroom and made money selling homemade walkie-talkies and fixing his neighbor's telephone.
I've only got 1 minute left.
Workforce. His innovation and drive were so remarkable that the manufacturer of one of the major computer companies in the 70s hosted a class in Lawson's garage. He worked with different companies, developing program languages and designing HUD systems for aircrafts. Lawson started working for Fairchild Semiconductor in 1970, and by 76, Lawson had become the head of engineering and marketing for their gaming division. After he had designed one of the first arcade games called Demolition Derby, he created the Fairchild Channel F.
It looks like our video stopped working, so give me just a second. I'm going to back it back up real quick. And let's see, desktop. I know how to do this. Bear with me just a second. I had to do this earlier. The same thing happened. And let's see, we'll go like this. Bear with me 1 second here. Sometimes technology things just happen. There we go. So I'm going to replay this. Just bear with me.
One of the major computer companies
We disappeared.
Hosted a class in Lawson's garage. He worked with different companies, developing program languages and designing HUD systems for aircrafts. Lawson started working for Fairchild Semiconductor in 1970, and by 76, Lawson had become the head of engineering and marketing for their gaming division. After he had designed one of the first arcade games called Demolition Derby, he created the Fairchild Channel F. Not only was this the first home gaming system to use a microprocessor, but it was also the first time the game could be stored externally, allowing for multiple games to be played on one system. Today, companies come out with next-generation systems about once a year. But without Lawson's invention, you would have to buy a new system for each game. That was Gerald Lawson, and this is The Balance.
Yay! Okay, so we had a little bit of technical difficulty there. Thank you for bearing with us. I will put a link to that video in our notes, in our show notes. So bear with me while we update those after our live stream. And then let's just jump back and talk for a second. What did you learn? Or could you hear it? So Gerald Lawson actually led the team responsible for the first game cartridges. And like we learned in the video there, if we didn't have game cartridges, we would be buying a game system for every game that we want to play. So Gerald Lawson and his team were responsible for developing these little cartridges that could be popped in and taken out of a game system. And so that was huge for companies because that's a way to actually gain more revenue, which is super smart. And then it's also super practical for people who want to play the games because we don't have to buy a different system. Can you imagine having to buy a different system for every single game you wanted to play? That would be insanity. Insanity.
Having like 5 systems.
I know, right? Like, we have a fair amount of game systems because we're game people, but, like, not for each game, right? So, I
meant, like, the games that I want to play, there's, like, only 5.
Yeah.
So I would have 5.
So you would have 5, and that's it. You would never want to play another game ever again.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
They're, like, my main 5.
Well, I wanted to talk about, like, what impact... Game cartridges have had a huge impact on my life. I want to jump over here real quick. I brought my original game system, and I think we're hiding my Atari here, so let's just jump down here. So this is actually my original Atari system from when I was a kid. We got it when we got this in 1982. This is a 1982, the last of the Woody edition Ataris. So they came out in 1977. And, Gerald Lawson was working on something in 1972, according to the video and the research that I've done. So Atari's really leveraged that cartridge system and they did very well commercially. And this was not just an example of my first game system. This is my actual first game system. I remember when my dad brought this home. So my older brother and my sister and our birthdays are all within 1 month of each other. And my parents had gone to a store to get a new television set. They had moved into a new house and, got a new television set about 8 to 10 months later, if I remember correctly. And my brother was enamored with this at the store. They had one set up and my parents were there, doing the deal on the television set, and the kids, we were there playing the one they had set up in the store. And my parents decided, because we were having so much fun with it, that they would get the system for us and put it on the old television set in the family room. And then they set up their new television in, the main living room. And this game system, I feel like it changed my life. It's I have such a huge, such positive memories of playing games with my family.
Do you think we would be able to play a game on it?
We can actually play games on it, something that we have done. Most of because out in our living room, I actually put all my cartridges in frames and of my favorite games in frames and created an Atari wall out in our...
I did that one.
Cubert, yeah, you helped me with this. So all of my cartridges, with the exception of a few that don't work, are framed in little IKEA frames, and we created a sort of an Atari tribute wall in our entryway. So I love that, and I want to get this put in a little system. Anyway, so I don't know if gamings have a huge impact on you or your life. I mean, you've been around games your whole life because it's something we do a lot in our household. But I'm hugely inspired by games, and when games came out in this era, games were graphics were way different, right? We had 8-bit graphics, and so I wanted to share what 8-bit graphics are. If you are not familiar with 8-bit graphics, this is what some of the Atari screens. So we had the different cartridges, and this is an example of a game called Pitfall, which I loved. I don't think I ever got to the end, but my brother got to a point where everything just froze and it was done, and I think that was the end of the game. But it wasn't this triumphant moment of winning. It was just yes, I played it until it played no more, sort of thing. But yeah, and look at what race cars look like on an 8-bit, design. Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. Those are race cars. And there were all kinds of things. There was a game called Combat that I loved. Look at E.T. over here. E.T. was historically known as the worst video game of all time. Boop. Phone home. Anyway, so Frogger, one of my favorites over here. I love Frogger, and whether it's the Atari version or the arcade version.
You looked so confused when I put my finger up.
I wasn't sure what was happening for sure.
I was
So how does this all relate to designing for clothes, Miss Zia? 8-bit style. I was thinking today we could explore designing with 8-bit. And now last week when we did the Alma Thomas stuff, you did the paint daubs, and I did some construction paper, torn construction paper. Actually, let's jump back up to the corner and push some of this stuff out of the way. I made some little just squares today. So with construction paper, a great way to kind of play with 8-bit style is to get little squares, little color squares, because that's all it is. It's just designing with squares. Those are going to be
huge.
These will be huge designs, right? Mm-hmm. But let's grab a background color. You wanted a black background?
Mm-hmm. We got 4 colors to choose from.
Yep, we just have a few colors. I push these guys up out of the way, and if you would, maybe I'm going to design a robot. I got inspired by the one I saw over on the screen. I'm going to try designing a little robot.
I got 3 colors.
What are you going to design? You can fish through these. And so you experiment, but this is a great one for all ages. You can kind of decide if we need, can I have a glue stick just in case I need a glue stick? Whoa.
That was so close.
I know.
So close.
And my squares aren't perfect, but I think squares are a great way. And I'm going to leave some space. But yeah, with little ones especially, it's a great way to just start thinking about design and shapes and how they can work together and make something super cool. And then, hold on, I want to go like this. I think it's supposed to be more of like grid-like, right? So if you also, another way to do it would be if you have graph paper and you fill in each little square. So it's like designing with pixels, basically. Pixels are teeny, tiny, tiny, tiny little squares. Screens are made up of pixels. But to design in 8-bit style, it's just doing like one little square at a time. Go ahead and try something, Miss Zia.
I don't know what I'm gonna make.
That's okay. Try a robot, or a flower, or a cat. Just pick a thing. Okay, I'm gonna go like that, and then I'm gonna give him like a little boop on top. I'm gonna give him a yellow torso. And my squares don't line up like absolutely perfectly. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to create something that looks kind of like a robot. I'll just grab a bunch of squares and see what happens. So by doing this though, you can kind of explore imagination and what's possible just in a sort of a limited way. I think sometimes constraints are amazing, right? To see what's possible with certain constraints. And I'm leaving spaces between because I think that it looks neat that way. My robot's a little bit goofy looking, but that's okay. He's like really lopsided. All right, let's move. I gotta move them around. So I'm not gonna glue any of my squares down until I get an idea of what I really want to have happen here. Boop, boop. But I think they're such fun designs. It's such a fun way to design. And to kind of simplify thoughts, which I think is neat too. And you can always work with, we'll call these full pixels, and then we could work with half pixels if we wanted to. What are you making? What are you making?
I have no idea.
Make a heart. I'm going to give this guy a square heart. Look, boop, right in the middle, like Iron Man. All right. So my robot, I have a wavy robot. Check out my wavy robot. Maybe he needs some blue on his shoes too. He's going to have big rectangle shoes. Maybe I should give him bigger feet.
Thank you, Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft, it's such a great example. So what were you saying? Why thank you, Minecraft?
Because it made me work in pixels.
Uh-huh. So you are familiar with working in pixels because of Minecraft. Any Minecraft players out there? I bet. Again, we can't see the comments right now, so we're not ignoring you, I promise. It's super weird to not be able to engage directly with you. Oh my gosh. We will fix that for our next live stream, but we figured let's just keep moving for now. You know we love you, and we'll go back through our comment streams on all the channels, wherever you may be watching from, and we'll make sure we respond to anybody who's left a comment for us. And I didn't glue any of mine down. Do you like my robot? I could probably like draw on these now too, right? I'm gonna give him a face. Boop. Boop. You could use googly eyes too. I have a happy robot. Happy and sort of goofy robot. Zia is like way better every time. Time. Your designs turn out so awesome. And while Zia finishes up her little design, I want to show you what she did last time with the Alma Thomas inspired design. Zia had created this on a little canvas, and we decided we were going to make a face covering out of it. So here's her little thing. I'm going to bring up the face covering, because you can design your own face covering on Picture This Clothing and with the template. And so what we do, we put it over, hang on one sec.
Yours looks great.
So yours looks great. I love oh my gosh, the heart on black. That's so awesome. Look, if you wanted to create a face covering out of that.
It's off-centered, but it's alright.
So I would probably, oh my gosh, it's so cool though. I love that. I don't want to mess it up. I did mess it up slightly. But look, we could create little things like this. This could actually be the mouth of the robot. But with the template, you can either lay it over. What I'm going to do with these, don't mess it up because I want to take a smartphone photo of it and then I'll actually pop it in digitally. Zia showed us how to pop in photos digitally into the Procreate app using an iPad. She showed us that on Tuesday. I'm going to experiment with that and see if I can pop these into a template and then we'll share what those look like. So I'm going to move this over. I need to move mine out of the way so that I can lay down your face covering. Let's move this guy over here. Move my robot. But this is how Zia's face covering turned out, and I think it looks so super cool. I have an adult size one that I'm going to do over here, and we did the add-on, the scrunchy add-on, so it matches. It's a matching scrunchy add-on.
I'm wearing a scrunchie from my design.
Oh yeah, from another. This is your design. It was just for the show design. So during checkout, you can add on a matching scrunchie to whatever you've made. But this is the super cool. I love how it turned out. That she did. And so like basically all we did is we used one of our templates over the top and the face covering templates and popped it in. I actually popped it in digitally so that I didn't get any weird shadows around the edge. And so we popped in her image digitally into our Procreate template. We saved it as a PNG, uploaded it to picturethisclothing.com, placed the order for the face covering. This is a youth-sized one, and I've got the grown-up size one here. It goes all the way around, and then I think this looks super cool, Z. I really like this one. Check it out. Woo! Right? Oh, you're still going. All right.
No,
so
I'm not. No, I'm not.
This is what Zia's face covering looked like. Here's the back side, seam down the middle. So you can see this part of the artwork. It went to the back. This part looks like a wraparound tube, and then the center is here. And I really think it turned out awesome. I love it. Yay! All right, so we're gonna photograph today's pixel art. We'll share how those turned out on next Thursday's live stream. Tuesday, what did we design on Tuesday? Do you remember what we did just 2 days ago? I don't even remember.
Oh, we did the Procreate and the bean.
Procreate, that's right. She designs. She did like a mandala on Procreate.
Mandala.
So Tuesday of next week, we'll show how that turned out. So we love doing that. If you have ideas for things you'd like to see, I think on Tuesday of next week, we are going to try fabric markers and just talk about the difference between fabric markers on blank items versus kind of what we do at Picture This Clothing, how it's different. I love this. I think this is so cute. I can't wait I want to make a shirt out of this maybe. So I think that's super cute, see? Or dress, something. I love the colors that you chose because I would have done just all pink. Like that's just the like cap of my imagination, I think. Anyway, one more thing before, I guess we got a couple more things before we wind up today. Question of the day. Do you remember what the question of the day is?
How long does it take?
How long does it take? So people ask this all the time. I don't have one specific one. I received this question no fewer than 6 times yesterday alone. So how long does it take? And people are typically referring to once I place an order on picturethisclothing.com, how long does it take to get my order back? It depends on a couple things. Once we receive your order, it goes through our image processing process. And if your image meets our image requirements, which is the first step of uploading on our website. It will show you what all the image requirements are. There's a little video on how to take a great photo just in case you're not sure. But if your image meets all our image requirements, we will ship it, that means hand it off to USPS within 10 days. 10 days or less. Usually if you have a great image, it's super easy for us. It goes through the system. We have it It goes through the system, it gets printed, it gets sublimated, it gets hand cut, sewn, packaged, and shipped within 3 days, maybe 4 or 5 if we have extra crazy volume. like Father's Day.
Unless another thing happens again where it gets stuck in LA for a month. But...
Well, that happened, so that's another variable, right? Is once we hand it off to USPS, that journey may take a long time or a short time. Right now, with COVID-19, things have been a little slower, where things might take 2 or 3 days inside the United States. Sometimes they're taking 3 to 5 days now inside the United States. The one that Zia just mentioned, I was sharing with her earlier today, we had an order going to Canada, which normally takes, maybe 10 to 20 days max to go from the United States, from Las Vegas, where we're based, to Canada in a variety of locations in Canada. This one particular was going to Toronto. And it sat in LA. We handed it off over a month ago. It sat in LA for about a month before it transitioned on to the Pearson Toronto airport. So really strange. So sometimes we are unable to, shipping is literally beyond our control. It's out of our hands. It's in their hands. We do the best that we can do. Typically, we're shipping, we're handing stuff off within 10 days. If there's an image problem, we will reach out to let you know. We don't want to print anything that is going to be of subpar quality. We do the best we can. So, we always reach out. If it's not going to look good, we reach out and we send an email to you and we say, hey, we need a new photo. So don't throw away your artwork. Take great photos. And it goes really smoothly. So that was a really long answer, but there are a few variables when you're doing one-of-a-kind custom art pieces. And those are some of the variables. Do you have anything to add? Now, this is why I had a bean incubating in my mouth last time, huh? So I talk. All right, so one of the last things I want to say before we sign off, today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. Every Friday, if you are participating in our weekly giveaway, which we announce every Sunday during our 11 a.m. Pacific time live stream, this week's theme is Father's Day. Father's Day is Sunday, the 21st. You can yawn, just cover. But yeah, this week's theme is Father's Day, and your entries are due tomorrow, Friday, the 19th, by midnight. And we have a lot of entries this week, so competition is heated. It's a random drawing, though, so your entry will go into a little box. We shake up the box, and we reach in and blindly draw it out, and the winner wins a gift certificate. This week's gift certificate is like a dad and me, or a matching set, so you'll get one design and an exact duplicate of that same design in any other size, so or 2 of the same design. So you'll get a matching set gift certificate. So always pays to participate. Never hurts, right?
Do we have the other 2?
The other 2 of what?
Scrunchie?
Yes. Because you'd painted her tray.
Yeah.
So she's got a whole line of scrunchies going. She had used her tray where she was painting this little design last week. She just continued painting with the watercolor to the whole tray. And I have to tell you, I think it turned out so beautiful. Oh, on the green screen, it looks a little weird. All the greens are hidden, but it looks super cool. There's a pink side.
And then I changed it, and there's Megalodon in it and stuff.
Yeah, we should make one of that too. So, all right, thank you so much for joining us. Scrunchy arm over here. I'm gonna go. I didn't do a great job at my hair today because I'm gonna go get my roots colored and have to wear a mask the whole time. So yeah. So next time you see me, I won't have 4 inches of root growth. Anyway. All right, is that it? Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We love seeing you. We love you being a part of our community, and we hope to see you back here again to keep learning and exploring and sharing imagination. Have a great time. We'll see you next time.